Hey, this is Monique and I want to show you one more little project that I did. This one is for a friend, and this friend of mine lives not here with me anymore. She moved away and then she had a baby. We love her baby, but her baby is not here. Her baby is all the way out in Colorado. So she is making a fort, an indoor fort. Canvas and PVC pipe so that her daughter can have this fun place to play inside, because apparently it gets really cold there. So I wanted to make her a window for her fort. So I decided to make a Memphis skyline to remind her of her roots here in Memphis. So I got this piece of fabric and I got it all wet, but apparently I did it the stupid way. I could have just got the whole thing wet in the sink and wrung it out and spread it out on my table, but no, I chose to do that the slow, stupid way. But it did help me keep the fabric taped down, because those edges were dry, at least when I started. But I wanted to put a sunset behind my silhouette of the skyline of Memphis. So the first thing I wanted to do was paint a sunset so that you have this nice sunset. If you've ever been to Memphis, you know that our downtown is right on the Mississippi River, the mighty Mississippi. So I wanted to paint this sunset there along the river. So then I could just paint the background and put the silhouette, since it was a sunset sort of picture, and not have to worry about the fact that my buildings are all solid and don't have any extra detail. I used watercolors because I like watercolors and they were going to give me that more washed look. I didn't want the hard look that an acrylic paint might give me. So I whipped out my old Prang watercolor paints, which I just love, and went to town on this piece of fabric. It's not exactly a great work of art, my sunset picture. It's very elementary looking by itself, but I knew that it would be sufficient because the vinyl was going to cover up a fair amount of the sunset itself. So I worked it all in with just some crude sunset colors and didn't worry about it being a most beautiful sunset, but it's going to be fine once it's all done because the vinyl is going to cover it up. So I don't have video of what happened after I finished painting. I was going to leave it there to dry, but I decided I didn't want to wait. I wanted to keep working on it that night, so I picked it up and took it to the bathroom and used the blow dryer on it because it needed to be drier, which was kind of a bad thing because it was hard to move a big old piece of wet fabric and then blow dry it, but it was fine. So I didn't video myself blow drying my piece of fabric. Prang watercolor paint. My vinyl is going to fit beautifully on this size piece of fabric. I went around it with the serger so that I didn't have to hem the edge, but I wouldn't have raveling edges. If you serge round and round like that, you can see where instead of picking up the scissors every time, I just use the serger itself to cut the next seam. I put some of the vinyl on there, but I wanted to show you that the easy press is a easy press, not an easy iron. You don't slide it around when you use it. You hold it still and let it count down for you. I didn't get my vinyls cut exactly the way I wanted, so I overlapped them some. But if you look close, you can see a shiny line, a few shiny lines, and that is because the vinyl went all the way to the edge of its protective paper that it comes on, so it left a little bit of a shiny mark. In order to make this look like a window, I needed some divided light. And since I wasn't going to do real glazing, we did some zigzag ribbon glazing to divide up the light. I set the zigzag so that it was about as wide as the ribbon. If you do a straight stitch, that holds it down, but it tends to want to curl. The ribbon will curl more, so I wanted to hold it down without having to sew on both sides of that thin ribbon. To make the window casing, I wanted to sew this wider white ribbon around the outside of it. So I started by sewing on the outside edge. Think of it kind of like a circle. It's not, it's a rectangle, but like a circle, that the outer circle is going to be bigger than the inner circle. Same thing with the ribbon. I wanted to make sure that I had enough ribbon so that I could get all the way around it. When I got to the corner, I wanted a nice mitered corner. I don't want to have to cut and deal with the chance of the ribbon fraying. So to miter the corner, you would fold it straight back on itself and then fold diagonally so that the fold of your ribbon is all the way down at that bottom edge of your fabric. But then you can get a nice sharp point on the inside where your ribbon folds back on itself. Once you get all the way around the outside, just keep sewing. Take that diagonal from that last miter, use it as a highway to the inside, and then you can sew around the inside. Hello, my ribbon's gonna run out. I'll just chunk that right through there and keep going. At the corners, I didn't bother to sew down the miter on every corner because it's just not wide enough to matter. I put Velcro on the top two corners of my Memphis window so that my friend can put it on her daughter's playhouse, and she can put it up for a while, or she can make different windows and change them seasonally. But the Velcro gives her that flexibility to put it where she wants without having to sew all the way around it onto the fabric that makes one of the walls. The Memphis skyline I cut out on my Cricut Maker, which I absolutely love. It was a Christmas present from my husband that I have really enjoyed. It's one I made myself, so I don't have to worry about showing it to you and someone else getting upset with me. It's one I created that file myself, and if you want it, you have to tell me how to give it to you, because I don't know how to do that yet. But I'm sure I could figure it out if you wanted to have the Memphis skyline. If you want to do something like this with your city, you got to figure it out for yourself. This Velcro is both sides. It is the hook side and the loopy side, so that in the future, if she changes it out, she doesn't have to get the right side to match what I've already done. Either side will stick to this Velcro because it has the loops and the hooks both in it. Look real quick, you could almost see, is it focused? Well, you know, you just have to take my word that it really is that. But look, the sunset, it wasn't really great. But it looks great once it's got the silhouette in front of it. You know exactly what it is. Thanks for joining me. This is Monique on One Mo Project. I hope you enjoyed painting fast. I enjoyed watching myself paint fast. Remember, from the rising of the sun to its setting, the name of the Lord is to be praised.